Hello, everyone. Welcome to Worship Media. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell.
Good evening, wonderful people, great dear friends, wherever you are on the face of this very planet. We welcome you to this very somber edition of Radio Biafra special broadcast that should have come to you yesterday, but was delayed until today due to technical difficulties. I thank you for your patience, for your understanding, for your tenacity and your resilience. Because we have embarked on a divine mission which this very generation must accomplish. I welcome each and every one of you, and as I do so, I will no doubt encourage you to also welcome your friends and your family members, your well-wishers, wherever they may be domiciled around the world. This is a presentation that should have come yesterday, but it is coming your way this evening. The time now is approximately 4.5 minutes past the top of the hour, 7 p.m. in the blessed land of Biafra, and the same number of minutes past the top of the hour, irrespective of where you are around the world, and unlike any other. Radio Biafra is listened to across the face of this very planet Earth. Radio Biafra is dedicatedly followed by people in over 100 countries around the world. Therefore, this very gospel is being propagated at a rate never seen before. And that is why the zoo will collapse. That is why they are vibrating. That is why the zoo is in a state of panic. And that is why the inevitability of the coming of Biafra can be very confidently predicted. That I can assure you. For Elohim is in charge, Chukwukika Biama is in heaven, presiding over the affairs of his children on this very earth. And in all that we do, we give glory to him. For only him is the bringer and the taker of life. We are mere mortals. We cannot question his decisions. In every condition and situation we find ourselves in, we must give glory and honor to Chukwukika Biama Purumi Henine. I say good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night to some of you. Regardless of where you are, I welcome you to this very special edition of Radio Biafra live presentation on a day, or should I say, on a day following the announcement of the passing into glory of my mother, Ugweze Sali Mmeme Okukanu, who rested in the Most High, Chukwukika Biama, on the 30th of August. Our prayer is very simple and very short. May her passing accelerate the restoration of Biafra. Let her death be an end to the wanton brutality and wickedness of the damnable Zoological Republic soldiers and army on the streets of Biafra land. And also let her death be a reminder to us all of my determination to sacrifice everything sacrificable to ensure the restoration of Biafra. I have said it in the past, and I will repeat it live on air, because anything we say here is gospel and must definitely come to pass. That I will do everything humanly possible within my powers and by the grace of the Almighty in heaven to ensure that Biafra comes in our time. If anything, my beloved, very beautiful, I must say, very beautiful mother is in heaven, watching over our march towards Biafra, because that was what she lived for. Very brave and unflinching, very compassionate and determined when it comes to Biafra. For her sake and all those who fell in her compound, Biafra must come, and Biafra will come. Before we go any further, we must pray. We must hand over all that we are doing unto the capable hands of the author and the finisher of our faith, the only entity that was never created, because Chukwuemeka Biama existed before time began. That is why the ancients say that he is eternal. We must bow in prayer and in complete submission to his will, because we are not fickle-minded. Elohim Chukwuemeka Biama, we call upon you in your divine mercy and grace upon the lives of those that believe and trust in thee, to make this very solemn proclamation that in every situation, in every circumstance, that we defer to thee, that it is only you that we have and nobody else, that we shall glorify your holy name from eternity to eternity, because you never end. Heaven and earth may pass away, but your word shall remain. And upon that very promise do we anchor our belief, our faith, that Biafra must be restored in our time. I give over to thee all those who have died in the cause of this very noble effort, because you told me that we will die. There will be a lot of sacrifice to be made. And I said to thee, my Creator, my Lord, my God, and my essence, that every sacrifice you call upon us to make, that we shall make it, to ensure that freedom comes in our time. That very sacrifice has been made by my family, because the demise of my mother is as a direct consequence of the activities of the Nigerian government and the invading soldiers that came to my house repeatedly, looking for who to kill and killing innocent people in the process. Therefore, you will accept this very prayer this evening. For only thee, Elohim, see how they have increased that trouble us. Many rise up against us. Even Facebook and Twitter has come against us. Countries that we do not know rise up against us. Many are saying of our soul that there is no help from anywhere, that Elohim has abandoned us. But you cannot, because instead of your word not to come to pass, creation will cease to exist. Only the Elohim is our shield and our guide. You are our glory. You are the lifter up of our hearts. You have sustained us with courage and with conviction. When many thought that we would have fallen by the wayside, we have remained resolute, not through any strength of ours, but by thy mercy. We cry unto thee, O Elohim, and you always hear our voice and you answer our prayers. And as your son David said to thee, in good and in bad we will praise your holy name. That is the message we must send out this very day. That regardless of what we come across, regardless of the pain and the suffering, we will always glorify your holy name, because only thee knows all. We rise up because you sustain us. We are in the land of the living because only you have decreed it. Job did not question you. We will not question you, because you are God. That is why we will not be afraid, no matter how many soldiers they send our way. Even though they surround us with their AK-47s and their tanks and their helicopter gunships, Heavenly Father, we remain resolute and very firm in our conviction that the coming of Biafra has been divinely mandated by you in heaven, and there is nothing man can do to stop it. It doesn't matter how many of us die in this process. One thing is inevitable, that Biafra must be restored. Therefore, arise, O Elohim, and come and save your children, because you are our God and our Creator. For you have destroyed the enemies, for their plans have fallen to the dust. You have broken them because they are ungodly men. Salvation belongs to thee and only thee alone. And may your blessing be upon this very noble family, IPOB. May your grace dwell amongst Biafra. And may you, Heavenly Father, in accordance with your promise, extricate us from the damnable zoological republic to the glorification of your name, now and forevermore, we pray. He said, we must proceed very hastily and without hesitation to present this very broadcast this evening. Our modus operandi never changes. We remain as dogged and as determined as ever. It doesn't matter which obstacle we come across, we surmount it. It doesn't matter the type of pain that is being inflicted upon us, we endure it. It doesn't matter what the enemy does, ultimately we triumph, because we are the children of light, because Elohim have determined that Biafra must come. And that is one thing our people must always have in mind, that Biafra must come. There is no alternative. There will be no compromise. There will be no retreat. There will be no surrender. We continue to march forward relentlessly until the will of God is done upon the lives of his children, because that is a promise, and it must come to pass in our time. The essence of this very broadcast this evening in the holy land of Biafra is to bring to the fore what the terrorists have been doing to the lives of Biafrans who are unfortunate enough to have been included by Lugard and the acquiescence of Dr. Azikiwe in the damnable zoological republic. These people are hell-bent on crippling our commercial centers. They destroy our houses, and people say we lament all the time. And I say to them, we are lamenting. Yes, that is true, we are lamenting. The essence of our lamentation is to place on record and in the conscience of humanity that we are being persecuted, we are being targeted as a race for elimination and eradication. That a time is fast approaching when we shall rise up to confront this very evil in all its ramifications to ensure that the children of light is free to worship Elohim in truth and every honesty in the blessed land of Biafra, as decreed from of old. I said I will sacrifice everything, and I will do it. I will do it, I assure you. It doesn't matter the cost. Biafra is worth every pain and every anguish because it is the promise of heaven. Our enemies are coming to destroy us. I heard some people thinking foolishly and very hopelessly, some of them even theorizing that the series of terrorist attacks going on with petrol tankers across Biafra land is somehow an accident. We have asked them questions and they have not been able to answer it. And our question is very simple. If suddenly all those that move volatile, liquid, and spirit across the length and breadth of Biafra land is somehow afflicted by this break failure disease, how come the same thing is not obtainable in Kanu and in Kaduna, in Zaria, in Katsina, in Sokoto, and in all other supposedly, or should I say allegedly, densely populated, Fulani-controlled areas of the north? Why is it that only our businesses are being burnt? This evening, I will endeavor to present a sequence of events that will lead us to inescapably conclude that what is happening to us back in Biafra land is planned, it is orchestrated, is a well-marshaled plan to destroy us economically. Complete and total economic emasculation. They started with our seaports and we said nothing. They shut down our factories and we never lamented nor complained. They abandoned our roads. They made sure we had no infrastructure. They denied us space at the table of governance in Nigeria. They did everything. They continue to do everything to show, to prove to us that we do not belong. We are not part of them and can never be. Unfortunately, some of us still cannot see it because we are too blind. We are too blind, we cannot see. My happiness today is that heaven and earth is bearing us witness. And even the international diplomatic community is saying that it is a shock to them that Nigeria is still standing as one country because it has defied every logic and common sense and everything that defines a state or a nation is conspicuously absent in the case of Nigeria. They have come to destroy our economies. They have come to burn down Onisha and Aba. They have come to destroy Newi. They have come to eradicate Asaba. They have come that Iguacha may cease to exist. They have moved into Akwa Ibom. They feel they have conquered Cross River. But they have failed and will continue to fail. I feel sorry for those of us who are aiding and abating this very invasion, conquest, and forceful occupation of Biafra land by Arewa forces. Before I continue, I must warn everybody. that the same thing that some people are today encouraging and part of, I hasten to add, was what Chukwukika Biama himself said no, should not happen 380 years ago. Anybody supporting, they must know this very well. The North, the Arewa North, they have tried in the past to conquer Biafra land and they failed. Woefully and completely. Because Chukwukika Biama said so. Anybody aiding or abetting them for whatever reason is working against the will of the Almighty God in heaven. They must bear that in mind. Some of our people have remained ignorant of this very fact to the point of foolishness that the exploding tankers that you have, be it in Onisha, Newi, Iguacha, anytime they tell you that Dangote truck has failed brake, it is a terror attack. That is what they have been doing. That is what they will continue to do. Because we keep excusing what is in essence inexcusable. It's a terror attack. Why? Where we have shops. So the tankers only fail brake where you have shops and businesses. Some of you don't understand that border closure, Operation Python Dance 4, this spate, should I say, unrelenting wave of terror attack with petrol tankers. They are all coordinated attack by the presidency of Nigeria, by the Apakiyari-led cabal to destroy us as a race. Some of you cannot see it because you're blind. Makawan Chanche Gunune went in a hotel too by Face Me, I Face You in Nasarawa. Because of that, we are paying a very heavy price. As they occupy us with their private jet, they said the private jet came to pick up some people from Owerri, just to divert our attention. All the attacks going on in Biafra land with petrol tankers and Dangote lorries, we are all timed. After hitting and destroying Onitsha, the commercial nerve of West Africa, not just of the East. What did they do? They said, oh, we are sending an aircraft to Owerri. So some of you will foolishly abandon or lose sight of the fact that you're being destroyed as a race and start talking about nonsense. Presidential jet to fly people to Abuja for a 10 billion naira pledge. 10 billion naira pledge. The same way they promised you second Niger bridge, you're going to clean up and all the nonsense associated with it. That none came to fruition. So because of all common 10 billion naira, they sent an aircraft. They said it's presidential jet. And our people, our fathers, some of them, I won't call them fathers anyway, foolishly climbed into the aircraft to go to the north to be promised 10 billion to rehabilitate Enugu Airport. And I'm asking them, the time they rehabilitated Kaduna Airport in preparation for the closure and upgrade of Abuja International Airport, did they invite the governor of Kaduna State and all northern governors to come to Aso Rock? It's a very simple question that they can't answer. When it comes to every minor thing, or should I say, every meaningless gesture is magnified out of all proportion to give the impression that they care, using it to divert your attention away from the terrorist attacks in our land. None of you talks about Ebonyi anymore, but we are there fighting every blessed day. I repeat, we are on the ground in Ebonyi, making sure that Biafra land is safe, pouring every resource we have, millions upon millions of naira into Ebonyi to ensure that Ebonyi is secured. IPOB is doing it worldwide. Nobody can come out to say that I'm a multi-billionaire. We are supporting. No. That same IPOB you see, those miscreants you see, those people that you denigrate, those people you insult, they are the ones making sure that we are holding them in a body, that they cannot come in. Now I don't know who the foolish one is. Is it you people with your head in the sky, deceiving yourselves because you have been promised one stupid position or the other? It is our turn. Because of that, you have let go of your senses. But we are here to remind you of that. All over the world, orchestrated targeting of Biafran business interests is gathering momentum. Do you think we're only under attack in Onitsha or in Aba? No, you're mistaken. Our businesses are being burned outside Biafra land in Benin. That was this morning. Our business is burned. The Nigerian government connived with some people in Ghana to go and put our sons and our daughters under pressure in Ghana, doing legitimate business. We all saw what happened in South Africa everywhere. I have seen some apologies for the zoo coming out and talking or saying all manner of nonsense about what our people are doing. And I said to them, you don't know who we are. You don't know who Biafrans are, because if you know who we are, you will not be so ignorant as to fall into the trap of spinning the narrative of the enemy. Fulani people have 3 terrorist groups. Three. You don't have a Fulani man coming out or making an audio tape saying we are so bad, we are Fulani, we are all terrorists. Never. They have 3. They have ISWA, that is ISIS in West Africa. In fact, they have 4. Al-Qaeda in the Maghreb, ISIS in West Africa, they have Boko Haram, and they have Fulani headsmen. They boast of 4 terrorist groups, 4 Fulani. But some of you wake up in the morning and think about or even consider or accept that despite their lack of education, despite the fact that they have made a mess of every opportunity given to them to run Nigeria, that they should be considered for high office. That is how people reason. Because they are backward. People reason like animals in the bush. That's why I call the place a zoo. They can't reason very well. They keep saying that power should stay with them or reside with them. And I keep asking, what have you done to show that you deserve to be in high office? Those of them from the north. Show us one simple example. All they succeed in doing is bringing a far more sophisticated form of feudalism. They fused it with our ignorant democratic ideals, and here you have a hybrid of what is in essence chaos. That's what you have. What we find most appalling is that our people, especially those who claim they know, are ignorant of all these facts. They will go to newspapers tomorrow and write and talk, hey, we are moving forward. It's our turn 2029. It's our turn 2036. The same old rubbish. The same old nonsense. Every 4 years, they recycle the same rubbish. Every 4 years, the same mantra. Over and over and over and over again, and nothing is happening. Our land is being laid to waste. Ebony is under siege. It seems to me that the anger of the Almighty Elohim Chukwukikabiyama is upon our people. I wouldn't want to believe that, but that is what it appears to me. I am not unduly concerned about the threats from the core Arewa North. I'm not. In their quest to eliminate us as a race, I am appalled at the ignorance of those who should know better from Biafra land, but have refused to reason. My anger is with them, not with the Alamajiri. Alamajiri is doing what comes naturally. They will always look for land. They will always look for grass for their cattle. It's in their nature. They are a conquering race. They want to conquer people. They deceive you and they conquer you. If nothing else, let the faith, or should I say the plight, deplorable as it is, of the Hausa tribe, or should I say Hausa race, be a stark warning to us all of what shall become of this wonderfully blessed race of Biafrans, should we succumb to what I call the Atakia, which is a concept of deceiving people who are not Muslims into believing that you're with them, when in essence they have come to infiltrate, corrupt you from within, and destroy you completely. Fulanis are trying to do to us exactly what they did to the Hausa people. Today, Hausa people don't exist, only by language alone. I keep saying this, and I'll keep saying it. The same thing they did to the Yorubas, and they lost Kwara State. They lost Ilorin. They have an emir in Ilorin instead of an Oba. The same trick, the same game that they play. They come and they dangle something in front of you. They dangle something. Oh, do you want this? You say yes. To the Hausas, it was fighting corruption. They want to fight the Habib monarchies. It is corruption. They went practicing a pure form of Islam. And they came. Look at them. A bunch of kleptomaniacs. They steal money and yet they appoint EFCC chairman for you. They are the ones stealing money. Fulanis are the ones stealing from the treasury. But they are the ones producing EFCC chairman after EFCC chairman. They pay a few newspaper editors and they're writing nonsense, defending them. Now you understand how they work. Can you tell me which other ethnic group can get away with the impunity that this very present administration have been allowed to get away with? Which other people? Are you telling me that if a Yoruba man were to be the president, a Yoruba defense minister, a Yoruba economic finance minister, a Yoruba man air force, Yoruba man army, what do you think the North will do? They will go, they will die out of apoplectic rage. They will die. But that is exactly what they are doing, and all of you are so quiet talking about 2023. Can this maybe as if you are mad? You can no longer listen. I feel sorry for some of us. Of course, they have bought over Facebook and other social media platforms, and that even though we get 1,000 likes every day, we remain at 1.5 million. That's our page, that's our group, Radio Biafra London. Even though we receive 2,000 likes on a daily basis, Radio Biafra page, the official page of Radio Biafra, is still remaining at 691,000. If you come there in the morning, you will see new likes, but it's not being reflected. People who before, one simple comment will generate a lot of response from everywhere. These days you write and nothing happens, because they have changed the algorithms that they use to run Facebook when it comes to the zoo in Nigeria. And I will go out to point out an example to show you that most foreign media houses, you see Facebook and to an extent Twitter, that they are all in this nonsense together to subjugate and to press us down. People don't understand what IPOB is battling. We are battling forces that you cannot see. Some of you are so blind. You think our problem is just ordinary Al-Majiri that is not educated enough. You think our problem is Abakari and his cabal in Asarok, then you are mad, you don't know anything. Our problem is much more than that. There are dark forces that you cannot see. We have seen them and we are confronting them on a daily basis. If I tell you that Facebook is against Biafra restoration, will you believe it? But now I'll prove it to you this evening. I will prove it to you before the whole world that they are. And they are conniving with supposedly reputable media houses around the world to suppress and to subdue our people. But we shall prevail, because I have said before, this is the finest time to fight for the restoration of Biafra. This is the time for us to show the whole of mankind that Elohim, the creator of everything that was ever made and still to be made, is behind Biafra restoration. No human can stop it. I speak on good authority. No human being can stop Biafra from coming. You've not been born. And I'm happy that the Yoruba elder, the new one, Akintoye, is now seeing sense in what we're saying. Forget about restructuring. Everybody must go back to their house. to your tent, O Israel. Go back to your house. Look at the EU. Countries voluntarily wish to join a union, or else becomes an empire. Britain didn't feel happy and they're leaving. They're leaving the EU. And you're telling me that I should somehow consider you as a learned, erudite, polished, reasonable, thinking human being who is educated. Yet a white man from somewhere came and said, your name is Nigerian. I mean, I'm a proud Nigerian. And I look at you as an imbecilic monkey. A white man from nowhere can just come into an area after traveling for heaven knows 8 months on the sea to give you a name, and you answer that name. You are lower than a dog, I assure you. And we'll keep on. We will keep on marching forward. We will keep on telling our enemies the way it is. If you answer a Nigerian, you are lower than an animal. You are nothing. Because you did not give yourself that very name. Neither was it given to you by your father. You see, when people talk about founding fathers, I laugh at them. The reason why most countries mention founding fathers is because that is the only person allowed to give you a name. Only your parents, no other person. And I'm asking you, who are Lugard's parents? Frederick Lugard, that came and gave you the name Nigeria. That some of you are, I'm a proud, when I see a black monkey saying, I'm a proud Nigerian, I feel sorry for you. Because your ignorance have actually overtaken you as a human being. And you claim you went to school, you're a graduate. And you said, we Nigerians, I'm a proud Nigerian. Who is your founding father? Somebody from Scotland, a white man. A white man is your founding father in Africa. They came and they called you nigger. Named you niggers, which is the meaning of Nigeria. Nigeria, nigger in Latin. Black, useless, and stupid. And you're jumping up and down. I'm a Nigerian and I'm proud. And you want me to have regard for you as a human being? You must be mad, you must be insane. Now you understand why we fight for Biafra. Our people must wake up. I'm appalled by some of your ignorance. We must provide a brief background, an overview, as they say, a synopsis of this very latest attempt by the cabal to conquer our land through economic emasculation and terrorism, in the hope of making their age-long dream of Islamization of our homeland a reality in our time. But we can never allow them. As long as there is IPOB, we can't allow them. My mother said to me, you must continue. Anything that will stop you from fighting for Biafra, that thing will be demolished. You must continue to fight until we are all free. And that is what I'm doing. And that is what I'll continue to do. Let me repeat. I said, regardless of the cost. The death of my mother is an assurance to me that Biafra is a lot more closer than we even imagine. It doesn't matter. Am I suffering more than Job? Job, everything was taken from him. And Elohim was in heaven. Watching Job, and I trying to find out from Job what he would do. You call my name all the time, so I want to see what you will do. I will take away things that are very precious to you and very dear to you. And I will see what you will do if you will speak against me. But I'm here to proclaim before the whole world on this very day, the 20th day of October, that it doesn't matter whatever calamity that I come across or my family encounters. Biafra is still number one, top priority. And we are not stepping 1 inch backwards. Not, in fact, the whole situation and circumstance we find ourselves in should propel us forward. Never backwards. Never. And no regret whatsoever. None whatsoever. We must march on to go and get Biafra. The cabal is trying to conquer our land. What we are seeing here now playing out before us, especially in our cities like Onitsha and Aba, is what I call the fireball terror tactics. Do you know they burnt houses in Aba? These are soldiers burning houses in Aba. In Iguata, they burnt houses in Ogoni. Have you forgotten? And I'm asking them. They said, oh, a soldier was killed. I have asked them in the case of Aba, Tell us the name of the. They said one soldier, policeman called Alhaji in Anokwakoko. Show us the body of the Alhaji. Show us give us the full name of the policeman you claim was killed, that prompted you to burn down people's businesses and houses. They cannot tell us. That was when I knew that this is a pattern. Anywhere they go to, they burn down houses and businesses. They want to suffer us. Allow us to bring in goods to sell. They say no. Open seaport, Iguacha, Calabar, Warri. They said no. Okay, how about the roads that come into our land? Can we have at least good roads to bring in the goods? The answer is no. Everything is no. The next day they'll send a helicopter to come and carry 2 or 3 people to Abuja, and all of you are clapping. Ordinary 10 billion naira. Audio money. Or should I say internet money that never materializes. Now you can now appreciate and begin to see how low we have sunk. How low. How low we have sunk as a people. Terrorism before your eyes. There used to, I wonder. There is a saying where we come from. These are simple proverbs and adage that we use on a daily basis to ascribe meaning to things around us. First time, brake failure, Dangote cement. 400 people killed. Second time, tanker. The same people wake. Tanker blew up. I was at a flanny tanker. Businesses destroyed. The third time, the same thing. And you're telling me it's an accident. And you claim you are a Biafran. You have common sense in your brain. Just remember this. Then you can complete the rest. Maybe that should bring some of your lost sense of reasoning back to understand we are under siege. What you see happen, and let me say this very clearly right now. From today onwards, I am giving this as a direct order to IPOB command all over Biafra land. A direct order, I said. Direct order, I said. No tanker should be allowed, no petrol tanker should be allowed into any crowded area of Biafra land. From now, from this very minute. Any tanker that tries to go into densely populated areas should be stopped and the driver arrested, because they have come to kill us. But some of you are too foolish to realize it. I will give you examples later so you understand that this is a very simple but effective strategy. They did it in Lagos, and I told you. You can see that when they let loose the content of the tanker, they run away. Why don't you ever ask yourself, where is the driver? If at all the vehicle failed brake, and where is he? How come other people are dying but not the driver? They always run to the nearest police barracks or army formation because they know Fulanis are there to protect them. It is our plan. These are terrorists. Some of them are terrorists, even in uniform. Are you telling me that Buratai in any other country of the world will make it to even be a private in the army, talk less of being a corporal? And is that what you're telling me? When you look at him, can't you see that this is a terrorist? Can't you see it? That the man is evil? Can't you see it? Where have you seen military exercise in peacetime in a country? Tell me where you have seen it. Some of you are well-traveled and well-versed in knowledge concerning world affairs. And I'm asking you a simple question. Where have you seen the army of a country or soldiers exercising in peacetime within their borders? Show me where. Terrorizing innocent civilians on the road. Tell me where in the world you have seen that happen. But you claim you went to school, you claim you're learned, you claim you have understanding, you claim you have the power of reasoning. Just show me. Show me where. We're only in Africa. Backward, uncivilized, primitive, and hopeless. But Biafra is here to bring light into where once there was darkness. You must understand that. This is an attempt at Islamization. We must know that very, very well. to reduce our population, to reduce our worth as a people, and to diminish our status globally. That is their aim. Complete annihilation. The Nigerian Foreign Affairs Ministry is going around the world instigating governments against legitimate Biafra-owned businesses. Some of you don't. It's happening in Congo. It's happening in Congo. It's happening in Togo. Also happening in Ghana. Everywhere. And some of you are running to board presidential jet to Abuja to go see Jubril. Somebody from Sudan. Oh dear Lord, have mercy upon this. Our ignorance is, it deserves an award, honestly speaking. Let me tell you what is happening. I told you before that Facebook Nigeria, run by so-called Nigerians. Even, you know who's AFP? The Associated French Press. Is like the Reuters. They used to be a very reputable news agency around the world. Do you know what happened? Do you know what happened? People don't even know what is going on. Facebook hired them to do what is called fact check on fake news coming from Nigeria. Now pay very close attention. Let me now prove to you that some of you don't know what is happening around you. That the enemies you have is more than those you can see. That those we are fighting, not if it's Alamajiri, we will destroy them within 2 weeks. It's those that are behind them that we're having to contend with. And I'm telling you today, a reputable French news agency, AFP, is even against Biafra. I'm not going to say that the French government is against us, of course not, because they supported us during the war. But as powerful as they are, because they're a syndicate, once they write a news, every major media outlet in the world will carry it. So when truth is coming out of the zoo, unpalatable, am I tired? They will tell us it's fake news. And the whole world will see, of course, if AP said they did their fact check and it's fake news. But we've got them now. We've caught them lying. AFP and Facebook, we have caught them lying, and I will prove it to you tonight that they are liars. That even Facebook and AFP, they're amongst those providing public relations cover for the impunity going on in Nigeria. I'm accusing them direct. Of course I am. They know that very well. They can manipulate my Facebook or page all they like. That is their business. But our message is still getting out there to those that matter. They have engaged in social media content manipulation. That's what they have done. They have gone to Russia, to Israel, they have gone to England to go and recruit agencies. Their job is to flood Facebook with their, some of them answering, you think he's a human being? Of course not. They're attacking IPOB from everywhere. If you're against the zoo and what the zoo, they come after you. They are the ones that made it till this day impossible for Showore to get bail. You think that the zoo people, Nigerians as usual? No. These are foreigners with cloned Facebook names, trying to always influence the opinion of the people. But some of you don't know this. I'll prove it to you in a short while. What they have done is to block. Have you noticed it? Once you write something against Nigeria, Facebook will block you. But they say everything unsayable. They print everything, or should I say, they write everything, even things that should not be uttered or printed against Biafra, against IPOB, against myself. Facebook will allow it. Have you not noticed it? Have you not noticed? And Facebook will, they know what happened to them before. It will happen to them again. They are busy blocking and tagging every pro-Biafra post as hate speech. How can you win if you don't have publicity? If you don't have media presence around the world, how do you think you're going to defeat Alamajiri from the north? How? But some of you don't know that these are the battles we are fighting. But you don't see it. But they are more deadly than those Fulani terrorists in Ebonyi State. Every abuse directed at IPOB, they allow it. Once you say something against the Alamajiri from the north, Harewa, they block you immediately. We as IPOB cannot allow them to prevail. We can never ever capitulate nor succumb to their bullying tactics. Never ever. The intimidation must come to an end. AFP, these Associated French I told you, they have been contracted by Facebook to tell them which one is fake news, which one is real news coming from the zoo called Nigeria. Do you know that even after Aisha Buhari admitted openly that she was the one in the viral video, you remember the viral video in Asorok when they locked her out? And for some of you that said that Buhari is still alive, so Buhari is alive and they locked the wife out of Asorok, that's what they're telling me. Luckily, the video came out. The video came out. But you know that woman is great. She's done everything to tell us the truth, but black nigger from Nigeria doesn't make any sense. But that's what it is. People who cannot reason. What do you expect from them? Tomorrow they'll write, oh, it's 2023. It's 2023. The man to bring us back. For 59 years, no one has brought you back. It's Tinubu with bullion van in his house. Bullion van, stealing money from central bank. Buying votes during election. He's the one that is going to save you. A former drug peddler is the one who's going to save you. See how foolish people are. See how useless some of us are. When a white man calls you a monkey, don't blame them. They have seen something. They are very fair people, I'm being honest with you. There's something wrong with us mentally. Our brain doesn't function properly. But I thank Elohim for IPOB and for Biafra Restoration Project. Let us debunk their nonsense and expose Facebook for the, I wouldn't say the evil that they are doing. Let us just expose them because they are aiding and abetting tyranny, oppression, and evil. And the founder and owner of Facebook is a Jew. And you would have thought that there should have been a semblance of moral guidance on how he handles the issue of Biafra and IPOB, but no. What concerns him is money. He made a deal with the devil, quite literally, the devil in this case being the Zoological Republic of Nigeria, to try to clamp down on IPOB. It can never be well with them, but we must proceed. We can't allow them to prevail. Aisha came out and said, there is another video where Aisha said, I am the one in that video. But if you go to AFP fact check, you will see it, they are black and white, that it is a lie, that the video is fake. But Aisha came out to say, I was the one in the video. Do you know that every post that was made using that video by IPOB is either the page was banned, the group was closed down, or suspended? Or whoever made the post banned from Facebook for maybe upwards of 7 days and more. But the woman in question, because Asorok Cabal, led by Abba Kyari, saw the viral video of Aisha as an embarrassment. They told their friends in Facebook immediately, Facebook, do something. Our government is crumbling. Government meaning the one they share with Facebook and all those criminals from around the world. And they went into work immediately. They removed every video that contained, every post made with that video of Aisha Buhari being locked out of her quarters in Asorok. Disappeared from Facebook in one instant. Their reason is that AFP said it is fake. But Aisha came out to say that actually the video is valid. It is valid. Very, very valid. After this, AFP still, if you go to Google right now, you will see they still label the video fake. And till this moment, Facebook is still banning, blocking, and censoring every post containing the said video. But since Aisha has come out to say that she's the one in the video, why won't AFP retract their earlier claim that the video is fake news? Why wouldn't they do it? Because the Zugi, people don't understand how the extent that Nigeria goes in trying to show up their damaged reputation and image around the world. They don't know it. They have bought over AFP. Let me tell you, I will repeat, every frontline ambassador, once you are posted to Nigeria, you become a millionaire. So that whatever is happening in the zoo does not get reported back to your home country. They do that to the media as well. We will be having a protest, massive protest with millions attending. Nobody will report it. Never. But Hong Kong is 50,000 people on the street, and you see them there with their vans and the satellite beaming it all over the world. That is the fact of the matter. And we are here to see that is where we are different from other people. Because in the end, Biafra is going to come. There is nothing anyone can do about it. They continued, let me repeat, they continued fire, I call it fireball and tanker terror attacks across our land. In Biafra land is an extension of the 20 naira policy after the war that sought to impoverish our people and render us economically useless. This new wave of burning down homes and businesses started when Nigerian army and the police burnt down hundreds of homes on the pretext that a policeman was killed. Anytime a policeman, they start burning houses. What is the name of the policeman that was killed? His name is Alhaji, who we don't know. But they use it to start killing people. And people think that, that the killing has gone on so much now that it's no longer news. To kill people is no longer news anymore. We have become immune to evil. But we are IPOB. We can never, ever relent nor relinquish this very fight. Nobody has shown us the body of the supposedly slain policeman or given us his name, but hundreds of homes and businesses were destroyed in Aba, the commercial center actually of the East, by Nigerian security agencies. Tell us the name of the man you say died in Aba, was killed. Nobody can tell us, but they have destroyed homes and businesses as a result of it. And it was actually, go and Google it, it's there. It was actually published. The police, can you imagine a police force coming out to say, we are revenging by burning down the houses and businesses of people in Aba? It's a revenge police, no longer the court. No one, they have no regard for the rule of law. Of course, what do you expect? If you have a police force with the Fulanis in charge of it, what do you expect? Of course, they go ahead and destroy everything. That is the way they are. A whole police that charge people to court cannot take this very matter to court, arrest people or take them to court, take them to court. No, they took the laws into their own hands, police, to go and burn down people's houses. And you're telling me you're a Nigerian and you're proud? You don't want Biafra to go? After seeing all these things happening? Let me actually read the news for you a little bit so you can understand where I'm coming from. This was reported by many newspapers, but I'll just pick this very one. As many Nigerians were celebrating the country's 59th anniversary in joy and happiness, residents at the Indiagoro axis of Aba, the commercial hub of Abia State, we are facing their homes being burnt down and looted by police officers. Police actually burned down the loot. Police in Nigeria. And you're telling me you're a proud Nigerian. The police opened their mouth to say, we burnt down people's houses in revenge. Houses and properties, businesses looted. And you're telling me you're a proud Nigerian. When your own police burn down people's houses and loot properties, you're saying you're proud to be a Nigerian. What type of God made you people? Who created you people? Goodness me. It was gathered that four streets were destroyed. Four. Oko Jumbo, Anaba, Degema, and Omuasi in Indiagoro axis were set ablaze by Nigerian police officers from Indiagoro Police Division in retaliation for their colleague they said was killed by suspected cultists. Because of that, you destroyed homes and businesses. And I'm asking them, the Nigerian police, how many homes of Fulani people have you burnt before in the north following Boko Haram attacks? How many homes and Fulani businesses have you destroyed in the north? What our people need to do is a very simple comparison between what is happening in our land and what is happening in the north.
Trailers are only failing brakes in our land. When they come to Nigeria, their brakes fail. And it's an accident. But in the north, no brake failure, no accident. When they come down to our land, they say, oh, you've killed one of us. Because of that, we'll destroy your businesses and your homes. In the north, where there is terror, insurgency. Houses are not being destroyed. Now you're telling me that you're part of one Nigeria. Let's just stay in Nigeria and move Nigeria forward. Mad people. Police actually said that there are two angles to the story. That the policeman came, according to their story, came to extort money from our people, and we said no. After drinking ogogoro, maybe he fell into the gutter. Who knows what happened to him? And they asked the police people, but what is the name of this officer you claim that we killed? You know what the police said? Nigerian police. His name is Al-Haji. Al-Haji what? Nobody knows. Nobody can tell us who this Al-Haji is or from where. But because of this phantom Al-Haji, homes and businesses were destroyed. Why burning of homes and businesses? I keep asking. Why must you burn people's houses and businesses? Because they want to suffer us more. They are telling us we are not part of Nigeria and can never be. They are telling us how much they hate us. They are telling us how much they want to see us dead. I don't know. I must continue. The time now is 3 minutes past 8 p.m. in Biafra land. But we must preach this very gospel. We must preach it tonight that the world may understand and bear us witness. They came to, and I'm asking people in the north, the Fulani, those that Fulani is controlling the north. Will you be happy in your own hometown to have up to 15 police and army checkpoints extorting money from you at each checkpoint? When you refuse, they kill you. Will you be happy? But that's what you're doing in Biafra land. And I know that the useless governors and the Hanese is encouraging them. Because if you ask them, they say, oh, don't worry, all these problems will go away once we get the presidency in 2023. The same old rubbish. The same old nonsense. And we are dying on a daily basis. And they think that we are going to capitulate. Of course, we will not. They said that two angles to the story. And let me tell you what a victim said. Ikechi Anyanoka is a victim. He lives on Degema Street. He told journalists that the police has made him homeless and jobless as his workshop and home, which is inside the same building in Okojombo, was mercilessly burnt down without a pin recovered. And you have people that say they are leaders in we are the leaders, we are in Abuja, we are the elite. We are the elite. Your people are being destroyed on a daily basis. There is systematic reduction of the population. A planned program, very planned, neatly planned. They have caged the media, so no more objectivity. Hence, they will go to channels in the morning, one morning, and talk rubbish, and some of you be commenting on it, and that's the end of it. They look at it here. He even said that they entered my friend's shop and looted everything there and arrested everyone inside there. The police will come loot and arrest people as well. Then use money to bail yourself again. And you're telling me I'm a proud Nigerian. We check up on Nigeria. That is how stupid you are. That is how stupid some of you are. I cannot go through everything that was said. Is it Madam Adak, a victim and resident of Anaba Street? She too has her own story to tell. Police officer was killed. Where is the police officer's body? No one can. What's his name? Al-Hajj. And houses are being destroyed. People being arrested. We are seriously suffering as a race and as a people. But sadly, some of you can no longer see it. Did it start today? Of course, the answer is no. All this nonsense never started today. Remember the killing in Iguacha? Some of you have cleverly forgotten about the killing in Iguacha, and I will remind you again, the place is called Abonema Town in Akukutoru local government area of Rivers State. There again, they claim that some youths had a bloody clash with soldiers following the presidential elections, and that they recovered the body of the soldier. Because of that, soldiers went to the village and shot everybody dead. The village was raised down. Conservatively speaking, 30 bodies were recovered. The town came out. The next day, I went to the palace of the Mainabo of Abonema. His Royal Majesty King Disrael Bobo Bob Manuel to protest the very incident. They campaigned that soldiers should be sent away from their land. The women wore black attire. Everybody saw it. That same night, they came and destroyed the entire village. Everybody. The abominable ran away from his palace. Even now, the abominable, His Royal Majesty, Disrael Bob Manuel, said what we are facing is not normal. But that oil producing, they said that part of Niger Delta will not cooperate with you. Now look at where you are. There's something they say where we come from. Everybody's suffering. This rain is falling on everybody because we have refused to reason. We have refused to reason. Now everybody's under siege. But when it comes to Biafra, oh, you're not Biafra. You know, you're from Abadima. You are Niger Delta. You are Delta Niger. You are South. You are South. You are South. Until you find yourself in Brazil, you're still South. But now, all of a sudden, you're in Nigeria and they're killing you. This is a burning map in River State. In Gocha, they're killing people. Who are the ones who are killing? Nigerian army and Nigerian police. I'm saying this because of those that depend on the 2,000 recharge card they give them every week to survive. That will come on social media to start mouthing their usual nonsense. And then, as if we are not okay with the fuel tanker explosion in Onitsha. Another one exploded again. Another one at Omaba in Onitsha. The place that I went and the crowd was in excess. When I went to Omaba, in fact, the number of people that turned up was so much that at the time, I didn't know how we made it out of that venue. I'm telling you. An enthusiastic crowd, very loving, Biafran crowd. Omaba in Onitsha. I was there. They have gone there. So whilst we are still lamenting and mourning Upper Iweka, another one happened at Omaba. Another one. And it's still also another one failed break to those idiots that think it was an accident. So another one failed break again. After Upper Iweka, another one failed break again at Omaba. Is that what you're telling me? We must be able to reason. We must be able to reason. I have asked Amaka to please post all the pictures of the explosions and where they happened. If the videos are there, also upload them that the world may see. Some are asking, but you are mourning. Yes, I'm mourning my mom. As we all are. We, IPOB and the wider Biafran family, as we are mourning her, yes. But the work must go on. And the job is to restore Biafra. And that is what we must keep doing until Biafra is restored. Some of you have forgotten. I want some Biafrans who still support one Nigeria, even those in Abonima, in Degema, in Buguma, to think again and understand the importance of us coming together as one impregnable IPOB family to defend our right to exist as a separate nation the way we were before Lugard came. Some of you don't know that we were alone on our own. We had nothing to do with Arewa until the white man came. When will you get this into your skull? When will your stupidity, some of you, allow you to be able to reason clearly enough to appreciate this very fact? That's the only person, or in fact, the only person that made it possible for us to have any semblance of interaction with the North is Lugard. And Lugard is not from my village. He's not a Yoruba man. He's not an Awasa man. He's not a Fulani man. I don't even know why people support the independence of that contraption. Because the person that created it is not a Nigerian. Because there was nothing called Nigeria to start with. Let's stop deceiving ourselves. Let's stop being foolish. Soviet Union broke up. Yugoslavia broke up. There was an audio that was circulated a while ago about what happened in Eritrea. In Eritrea, they lost everybody. Families were wiped out. They continued to fight. I only lost my mother. Only my mother that I lost. In Eritrea, they lost some families lost everybody, but they fought until they gained independence. And so shall it be with IPOB and Biafra. We are going home. Nobody's going to stop us. Death cannot stop us. Death cannot stop us from accomplishing this very divine mission. And then it came again. There was another attempt to burn down Nnewi. Have you forgotten? Oh, so another tanker failed break again at Nnewi. And it's all an accident. Where is the fire service? We are calling on people are so hopeless. Which useless fire service? I'm asking you. We are calling on fire service. Oh, you mean fire service at Opaiweka? One fire service at Omaba, one again at Nnewi. It is a terror attack getting into your thick skulls. The sooner you realize this, the better for everybody. See how I'll imagine playing with your brains, telling you the motor failed brake. Look at the number of properties destroyed. Aso Rock could not even be bothered to issue a statement. That is how much they hate you, how much they despise you. Instead, they sent the presidency. They all carried it, all their affiliate news organization. The presidency sends jet to Owerri to go and carry Igbo leaders to go to Aso Rock for meeting. After which he placed 10 billion. 10 billion only. They flew all of you to Abuja for 10 billion. So if it is 20 billion, what will happen? They will fly you to the moon now, or maybe to Saudi Arabia. Now listen carefully, please. They closed down Akanu Ibiam Airport. So we cannot fly into our own place. They close the borders. They know that it is only us who import things. We manufacture and we import. 2 fuel tanker explosions in a matter of days. They are, as somebody quite rightly commented, those that made the North ungovernable are trying to now make Biafra land uninhabitable. That's what they're trying to do. They have brought their terrorism, the same Boko Haram terrorism in the North. They have now brought it down to our land to destroy all of us. I'm a proud, we Nigerians, I'm a proud Nigerian. They think they are doing. Some of them actually think that is if they insult me or insult IPOB, that it will stop us. That is the fuel I need. I run on hatred. You see a car, some cars run on petrol, some run on diesel. What sustains me is the hatred some people have for Biafra. I don't run on the love of Biafra, no. I run on the hatred people have. That is, when I read the comments, oh my, I enjoy it so much. Because it fuels my resilience. It fuels my anger and my drive and passion for what I do. They don't know it. But in time, they're going to know. They will know. I want to give people some background information and facts regarding this tanker terrorism. That's what tanker terrorism. And that some of them don't know. It has started a long time ago. Islamic terror groups used it as a very effective means to eliminate people whilst claiming it was an accident. They've done it in the UK. It's an accident. They run into plow into people and kill them until they realized all those were terror attacks. Remember Al-Qaeda in Yemen? They were the ones that told their Western recruits, including those in the zoo. In 2010, they wrote an article, said the ultimate mowing machine. It was Al-Qaeda that introduced using using Dangote trucks to kill people en masse. And go and do your research. All of you calling for fire service to run to the place to put out the fire, I won't go and do your research. How many tankers have failed their brakes in the North? Why always in our nation? Upper Iweka. Always, because they know we come to do business, we come to trade, we have come to try to eke out a living. They go there and they slaughter us. And anyway, when you have a leadership that kneels down in front of people to beg for one political office or the other, this is the insult you get. If you're foolish enough to allow somebody as spineless, cowardly, and a traitor like Wodo to lead you, this is what you get. This is the type of insult you get in your own land. It was Al-Qaeda that called for it. In September 2014, ISIS spokesman Abu Muhammad al-Adnani called for a lone wolf attack using improvised weapons. If you're not able to find and improvise explosive devices, a bomb or a bullet, then go and find a vehicle and run into people and kill them. That is what they're doing. They do it, they run to Fulani army barracks in our land. There they save them. And you're telling me that we are normal, that somehow we are okay. Of course we are not. The examples are numerous. Numerous, I cannot, recount them, but I'll publish them on my page so you will see. For those of you saying that the terror attack is an accident, you need to go and see a brain surgeon. There is something not quite right inside your skull, your brain. You can't reason very well, I'm afraid. You can't reason very well. The instances are numerous, but I want us to dwell on one thing. I keep going back to this issue. I keep going back to this same issue of Jubril al-Sudani, because all of you know that he's Jubril. Even AFP did a fact check and said, no, it's not Jubril, it's Buhari. All of you know the truth. But out of your innate cowardice, those of you that call yourselves Nigerians, today Buhari shot to borrow his tall. The other one is looking like a 24-year-old, and another time is looking like a 60-year-old. You don't ask yourselves questions. That's how sad some of you are. But there is one thing I'm holding on to, but I will not say it, because if I say it about Jubilee, they'll go and alter it as well. As I said about the left ear, and they went and used the super glue to glue the left lobe. It's now the part they're photographing all the time. You see how stupid they are? They think we don't know. This is from a northern newspaper, not from Biafra publication, it's from the Herald. It's Hausa paper, Hausa newspaper. For those who are hard at hearing, for those who are too stupid, they fail to reason. Second wife saga, remember, they said the man from Sudan, I don't know, maybe where they went and got one arm enough for him. They said the man is not firewood, he has to do something. They got one arm enough for him. And they said they want to do wedding. They were cat flying it to think if IPOB would jump in. So they would say, oh, no. You see, we kept quiet. They don't know we know them very well. I kept quiet. I never commented on the nonsense until they finished discussing themselves. Now, listen carefully. Second wife saga, Aisha dares Buhari to deny getting married to another wife. She said it openly. And a northern paper carried it. And you're telling me that Aisha will say this to the very sickly Buhari? Had he been around? Is that what you're telling me? Lord have mercy. Black people. Anyway, we're not black for no reason. Aisha, she said it's not up to her. That the person that they said is getting married should come out, and this is a Nigerian newspaper reporting this, not Biafran, not even Yoruba paper. This is a northern newspaper reporting it. And you're telling me that but Buhari is still alive, It's him. He sounds like him. Is that? Anyway, no wonder you don't have light, no running water, no good roads. You don't know it's for a reason. It's to tell that your brain is not working. It's not the brain of the leaders. No, you on the street. It's your brain is not working. All of you, your brains are dead. Aisha is telling the husband, it is not, go and ask him to deny it. Are you telling me that Aisha will say this about the dead Buhari if he were to be alive? Is that what you're telling me? Is that what you're telling me? I'm asking you a question. Is that what you're saying? Oh dear. I have another newspaper report from the zoo. Nobody will accuse the Guardian newspaper of being pro-Biafra. In fact, they are so conservative. If you can move the zoo to hell, I'm sure they will support it. This is 15th of October, Guardian newspaper, not IPOB paper, not Biafran paper, Guardian. based in Lagos. How Mama and Daura's family denied me access to villa apartment. This was the same news that AFP, Associated French Press, said is fake news. And they needed, Facebook needed that confirmation from AFP to justify their banning and removal of people posting that very viral video. To tell that Facebook in Nigeria is supporting evil. I will show you here. The headline from, people should Google this. Google it, you will see it for yourself. So as I'm reading, you're reading with me. How Mama and Daura's family denied me access to, this is the wife of the president. It's just like Melania Trump coming back and saying that somebody, one obscure member of the administration denied her access to her quarters in the White House. What do you think will happen? In fact, it won't even happen to start with. Will such a thing happen anywhere in the world? The answer is no. So Putin's wife will come back and somebody will deny Putin's wife access to a part of the Kremlin. Is that what you're saying? This is the person you claim is the first lady. Another person in Asorok is denying her access to her own quarters, and you're telling me that her husband is alive. Child. Who did this to black people? Who did this to black people that they cannot reason? May the good Lord have mercy upon your dark souls, I tell you. Now listen carefully, please. The wife of the Nigerian president, Aisha Buhari, has confirmed that she was the one speaking. And she confirmed it. I am the one in that video. The same video that AFP said is fake. She said, I am the one in the video. I was denied access to my own apartment by the family of Mama and Daura, who is Buhari's nephew. I want to quote what is, please, I can find the video and post it, please. What Aisha said with her own mouth. She said, I was the one in that video, and the person you see standing at my back are my security personnel. Mrs. Buhari said in an interview with BBC Hausa. It was Fatima, the daughter of Mama and Daura, that shot the video in front of my security and everybody there. She has mentioned the name. It's Fatima that shot the video. Do you see how this world is? The white people that we thought that they are above corruption, that they are clean, that Western media, they are neat. You see what Associated French Press is doing? Supporting lies and evil, supporting tyranny. It was Aisha in that video. And Aisha stood up to own that video because that should convince you that Buhari is no longer around. But we are black. This Yogi from Africa who cannot reason. You can't put do you think that those that came up with base mathematics, of course, which is the law of nature, is stupid? To say 1 + 1 = 2. They want you to actually do it. 1 + 1 = 2. Aisha is telling you to use what I'm saying, put it together. You will know that Buhari is no more, that the cabal is in charge of Asorok. But they have promised your village a presidency in 2092. Because of that, it's your turn. Let's wait. That is how sad it has become. Aisha said that the daughter of Mama and Daura, I thought you said Buhari is a hard man. He's a hard man. But somebody was ridiculing his wife. Mocking. This is from the mouth of Aisha. She was actually recording the whole thing right in front of me and was laughing and mocking me. Mocking me with what? Your husband is no longer here. My father is in charge, Mama Daura. She said it is, she was mocking me, mocking you. How was she mocking you? Because your husband is no longer around. I don't know why useless Nigerians cannot reason. Why they cannot use their brain for once and reason. And understand that Buhari is no more, that Jubril is the one in charge, cuts you off Abakari. They don't say it. Because if Yoruba media were to write about it, Nigeria will collapse and they will be worse off. Or they will think that the Fulanis will come and take them. No. Should Nigeria break up, I'm not sure that Biafra will allow the Yoruba land to be invaded by anybody. No. Because instability in Yoruba land will mean instability for us in Biafra land. The answer is no. If Yoruba is invaded after we break up the zoo, called Nigeria, Biafrans will go and help them and fight for them, and vice versa. It's as simple as that. I have said it repeatedly. If the problem, I know that is the problem, oil and gas, we share it into how many? Take oil and go and leave us alone. We want our freedom. That's all. And we're going to get it. It's either you do it now or we do it the hard way. When we do it the hard way, we will not get any oil, we will not get any gas, and no access to the sea. Fulani must be aware of this. They should be mindful of this. That we're not afraid of death. Is my mom not dead? Are we not still fighting for Biafra? Is Biafra not going on? Of course it is. Aisha said in BBC, I was an interview. Guardian was reporting what BBC Hawassa said. She was mocking me. How can the wife of a living president utter such word, mocking, to describe her experience? Fatima was mocking her that her husband is no more, that she can no longer do shakara. We can lock you away from your quarters and nothing will happen. And truly nothing happened. Because Nigeria is a zoo. A very massive zoo, I assure you. Massive, massive zoo. Mama and Daura's daughter came and said, Aisha Buhari attacked us inside that rock. You're telling me that if the husband were to be alive, that you'll be saying such nonsense about the first lady? Is that what you're saying? Oh, please. Please. In fact, if you can, I don't know how I'm going to get this out to be distributed everywhere. It's called, I don't know if you can write this down and check it, please. Our people should go there. It's called Fact Check. F-A-C-T, Fact Check, all one word, Fact and Check. Fact Check, FACTCHECK.AFP.com/Nigeria. It's here. And please, Amaka, look for it and so the world can see and bear us witness that we are without fear before our enemies and we speak the truth always, because our work is divine. Do you know what AFP said? Have you found it? AFP said that the video does not show Nigeria's first lady locked up by her husband's advisors. You see, a whole AFP lying. AFP is lying. Aisha opened her mouth and said, I was denied access to my quarters. My security men were there. Fatima was mocking me. She said it. AFP brazenly in the open lied. Associated French press. These are the people eating the money coming from our oil and gas through Fulani people. That is why they will never support Biafra. Very, very sad indeed, isn't it? Very, very. They said go and check it. AF is factcheck.afp.com//Nigeria. You will see it. Contrast this with what Aisha Buhari said at BBC Hausa service interview and tell me if these people are not conniving to impoverish everybody in the zoo. This is what. How did I know this? People were complaining. I went to Facebook to go and check. They said it's AFP. We are using AFP fact check. But AFP is wrong. The viral video is that of Aisha Buhari being mocked and locked out of her quarters because her husband is no more. As simple as that. At least my mom died and we flew her back to the land of her ancestors to bury her. Buhari never got that. And will never get it. Because if you live your life lying, this is the consequence of the lies. Under normal circumstances, as a soldier, Buhari should have been given full military honors. State burial, military honors. That is what every soldier craves for. There's now died in an unmarked grave in Saudi Arabia because of lies. And the man people are just lying. Here we don't lie. That is why we are as formidable as we are. That is why we are formidable. As I said before, people sometimes get worked up by what others say. I love it. I don't like reading compliments and accolades. I'm not doing anything with it. I want the criticism. That is the one that drives me. That is the one that gets me going. Aisha said, I was locked out of my quarters. Recorded by Fatima, mocking me. How can you mock a woman that the husband is alive? When is that done before? Where on earth is that done before? Nowhere. Nowhere. And as they're doing it, it doesn't phase them. Look at the as they're sending jets to fly your useless Igbo governors to Abuja to go and receive 10 million audio money that will never materialize, internet money. You know, you don't see it. It's like a Bitcoin. It's online. You never online money or cloud. You know, you can store your data in cloud. You don't know where it is. They went for internet money. Do you know what is happening to the northern governors? They traveled to the United States of America to go and lobby. These are the people making our life difficult. You see them? They're in the US. Their counterparts are in the US, but the idiots you have in the Southeast are in Abuja celebrating. But our governors are in the US sharing our oil and gas money to lobbyists in Washington to try to stop the coming of Biafra. People don't know what we are fighting. Oh, Facebook. People just wake up writing rubbish they don't know about. You don't know, people don't even know what we're encountering. What is our budget compared to these people? What is our budget? Is there any millionaire from Biafra land supporting us? The answer is no. We are fighting today in Ebonyi, stopping Fulani from coming in. I said, if you want the videos are there, I will give the order for the videos to be shared everywhere. So you see what we're doing in Ebonyi State. This same IPOB that people don't know. Governors of all the 19 states in northern Nigeria expected to spend 3 days in Washington, D.C. at the invitation of the United States Institute of Peace. We that are living in peace, nobody invites us to anything. Those who are terrorists, people are inviting them for peace. This is how crazy the world has become. No wonder that Trump won and is in the White House. Can you imagine if the other ones had won? Can you imagine that? People who are involved in terrorism are being invited for peace. Those who are living peacefully, they are sending army to them to go and do Operation Python Dance 99. Do you see how crazy the world has become? They're in the US having fun. Our own are in one useless DC-10. Painted green, white, green, going to Abuja and posing. Your mates are in Washington. Hobnobbing with those that make things matter. Those that will entrench northern interest. What did they give it to them? One Nigeria. You better be warrior. You better be warrior. We move on very speedily, please, because I know some people, they complain of data. But before, I used to do a program for 3 hours. There was no, sometimes 4 hours. And people listen. But these days, people complain about data. I don't know why. But we must continue. We need to continue because it's the right thing to do. Remember the program that I did? Come on, was it the last or maybe the program before last? I did about the border closure. They all listen to Radio Biafra, you know. Before I did that program, nobody knew that closure of the borders was a breach of ECOWAS protocol. But I'm very grateful to Tribune newspaper for recognizing that. Nigeria dares ECOWAS, shuts down borders. Now they went to Abuja and they're asking the Fulani man about it. He didn't go to school, so what does he know about treaty? And I tweeted it. His name is Hamid Ali, retired Colonel Hamid Ali, Comptroller General of Customs. From the army, you went into customs. I don't know what experience he had in life to qualify him to be the Customs Comptroller General, but that is the zoo for you. Another Fulani man. Everywhere is them. Nigeria Ports Authority, Nigeria Customs, Immigration. It's all of them. And nobody's complaining about respecting the national, what's it called? Is it national character, whatever they call it. Okay. Federal character. Can you now see what is happening in the zoo? He didn't go to school. He doesn't know anything about treaties. So if you know you're going to break your own laws and treaty, why make laws? If you know you want to obey the treaties you're signing, why sign them? But because white man said that states should sign treaties, so we blacks will sign treaties now. It doesn't matter. That's what they're doing, isn't it? Shameless people, because they didn't go to school. Do you know what he said? At least they have now recognized or acknowledged that they listen to Radio Biafra. He said here that Nigeria, a member of ECOWAS, is a signatory to the Sub-Regional Protocol on the free movement of persons and goods within West Africa. Let me now educate the zoo one more time, because they didn't go to school. We are learned because they are not. Let me tell them how it works in the EU, for instance. What you need to do is not to close the border at Seme. You know that any illegal goods are coming into West Africa, not just Nigeria, West Africa, because you have signed a freedom of movement of goods and services across West Africa. So it is now one economic unit. You no longer think about yourself. The day you signed that very treaty, you gave away some of your sovereignty. Some of your sovereign powers regarding border control, you relinquished to ECOWAS. You know, we went to school. So I want to educate them because they're not educated. What you need to do, all ECOWAS should sit down and say illegal goods are coming into West Africa. What or where is the point of that entry? You now go and place your customs men there. That's how it. Remember the backstop. Some of you don't follow politics around the world. That is the issue that the UK is having with EU regarding the exit of Britain from the EU. It's called the Irish backstop. Where will the customs union start and where will it end? That's all. But these are black people. They sign treaties. They don't know the meaning of it. And I'm a proud Nigerian. We Nigerians. Useless people. So it is against the law. If you have any issues with goods coming into West, mind you, not Nigeria, into West Africa, go to the source. The border closure should be at maybe Mauritania or whatever. What is the farthest, the most western reach of, is it Guinea Conakry? I don't know. Africa, not Africa, maybe Mauritania or whatever. Go there and place the border. It's understandable. But within ECOWAS itself, there should be no border. There should be no stopping of goods within West Africa. No. That's what the law says. The treaty says it very clearly. But the man is telling you, where there is a national security, human rights goes to the Fulani and democracy. Oh, dear me. Oh, dear me. At least my mom is in heaven watching this spectacle in the zoo right now. I'm telling you the truth. This is a spectacle. He said, where there is where national security is involved, you don't obey treaties and your own laws. Then why make the laws in the first place? Shouldn't you be making laws to counter whatever challenges you're likely to have or encounter? Isn't that what laws are there for? Parliament sit full-time all over the world to anticipate problems and to resolve it. Once there's an issue, they legislate. Let your own, you sit down in Abuja. All you do is you loot money, you travel to Saudi Arabia, you travel to UAE, you put some money away in Switzerland and all those places. And then you come back here, an elder statesman, and people are hailing you. Oh, don't insult not our elder, he's an elder statesman. But your life is impoverished because of his stupidity and his ignorance. He's looting of the treasury, but you don't know because you're dumb and you're daft. And you are black. Very sad indeed. Why do you think whites are going forward and Asians are moving ahead? You think they are stupid as we are? Is that what you think? You signed a treaty. You made a law. You can't obey the law in a democracy. You can't honor your own treaty that you signed. And you say you're a nation. And you're proud. But no, it doesn't work that way. It doesn't. They dare ECOWAS protocol and shuts down border. And now Ghana has retaliated. And what did Ghana say? We will no longer allow goods made in Nigeria to come in. And I'm begging the Ghanaian government, please. The people that close the border, they are Fulani people from the north. They don't manufacture anything. They don't produce anything, please. So when you're saying you're banning goods made in Nigeria, it won't affect them because they don't see themselves as Nigerians. They are only parasites in Nigeria. They are parasites, blood-sucking demons. They don't understand anything. Those you're going to punish are those who are against the border closure. Somebody should convey this to the Ghanaian government, please. We are the ones that manufacture goods. We are the Biafrans, we are the ones that person does. Fulani doesn't produce it, they don't manufacture, they don't produce, only consumption. Somebody should tell me what Sokoto State contributes to the national economy. Zero. What does Kebbi State contribute? Zero. Tell me, maybe flies now. Or they say they have cattle. That's what they contribute. And begging. Alamajiri, Ranka on the road. Babiala. That's their contribution to the national economy. So when Ghana is saying we'll ban made in a place, it's made in Biafra goods. Don't ban them, please. Don't ban them. Because the people who are responsible for this idiocy of border closure are from the north. They don't know anything. They don't know anything at all. It's only to sell oil and gas and consume the money. They have nothing upstairs. Absolutely nothing. This is Radio Biafra. We are live on this 20th day of August, a day after I announced the departure of my beloved and very beautiful mother. My mother was so beautiful that when I was very small, I still remember, I asked her why she should not join and contest in a beauty pageant. That was how beautiful she was. So beautiful is untrue. To be carried by her for 9 months is a unique privilege, a unique honor. Very kind woman indeed. Very kind. It was that kindness that brought about her illness after they killed 28 people in her compound. But we must continue because that is what she wants. And that's exactly what I'm doing. We are live and we are direct. And the whole world is bearing us witness because the truth is being preached. Do you know what they said in the zoo, that there is no hunger in Nigeria? The agric minister, there is no hunger. That's how twisted they are. In any other part of the world, there will be massive revolution. But as I warned before, the Nigerians cannot revolt. They cannot revolt because they are not one people. They cannot revolt because they have no common culture. They cannot revolt because they have no common value system. They cannot revolt because they don't love each other. They cannot revolt because the reason why everybody wants to participate in the zoo called Nigeria is very different and varied from one ethnicity to another. Nigeria is not a nation, it's not a country. It is a contraption. And the sooner we realize this, the better for everybody. I just hope and pray that the new Yoruba leader will remain consistent and make sure that nothing happens to his dream and ideal of making sure that the zoo is broken into pieces. Yorubas will grow. Believe you me, they will grow. If the zoo is broken into pieces, they will grow. His name is Nanono, whatever that means as a name. He said the Nigerians, they said their Nigerians are crying for about hunger. And he said that it is laughable. Exactly the same that Marie Antoinette did. You know, before the French Revolution, Marie Antoinette, the Queen of France, said that people are hungry, that they want bread. She said, "Why?" Sarkozy said, "Why didn't you give them cake?" And they came and cut off her head. But he will say anything, get away with it, because he has mobile policemen, he has army surrounding his house. He's an elite. Look at this bagger who doesn't know anything. He's an elite. He's only in the zoo called Nigeria. That is how sad and how decrepit they are. But I do not blame them. I blame those who slavishly hold on to the fact that 4 yearly recycle of idiocy will somehow make them better people or yield a better nation. People say they go to school in the zoo, they cram every theory. Some of them may actually succeed in writing barely readable English. But they fail to reason or to analyze situations. They don't understand it. Is it that there's something innately wicked and backwards about us mentally? or that we are doomed to fail as a race. But I don't believe in that. I know that Biafra is the shining beacon, it is the light, it will come, and Africa shall be liberated mentally. As somebody said, like computer, whatever you put in is what you get out. If you put in rubbish into the zoo called Nigeria, you get rubbish population who cannot reason, who cannot question, who cannot rise up to challenge what is in essence a misrule and a disaster waiting to happen. What is happening in the zoo is an abomination. Jubril must be sent back to Sudan. Aisha Buhari must be allowed to bring back the body of her husband and bury Buhari in Katsina, in Daura, so that the woman can find peace and the family can find peace. What Abba Kyari, Mama and Daura, and the rest of them are doing is evil before man and before God. They're trying to justify it using their takia, which is the code of deception of Islam, that you can lie to somebody or deceive them in order to advance Islamic goals. That's what they're doing. So that Buhari lying in an unmarked grave in Saudi Arabia is better for them. People say, oh, he keeps saying, I'm saying because it's the truth. That is the simple truth. If you follow and think logically what Aisha Buhari has been saying from day one, you will understand this. The latest outburst from her is clear confirmation that Buhari is no more, that Jubilee is in charge. I therefore ask those that claim they are Nigerians to draw away from their idiocy and ignorance and recognize the inevitable, that Biafra has come and that Biafra will leave the zoo called Nigeria. And no amount of death. It doesn't. I said it from day one. If after what is about to happen happens, after there is only one little boy and one little girl who are Biafrans, let them start giving birth to a new generation of Biafra. Rather than us living in the zoo called Nigeria, we'd rather all be dead. Thank you very much for listening. And from me, from here, it is good evening.